What is poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at yet another series review. This is a series review. I recently watched this. It is called Skull Island. It is an anime, cartoon, animated series on Netflix, whatever you want to call it. I've been told it's an anime, I've been told it's a cartoon. I don't know, it just reminds me of the sort of Invincible art style, or the sort of DC animated features art style. But it is all based in the Kong universe, the Godzilla cinematic universe, which I thought was really cool and really interesting, because I love Godzilla and I love all the sort of stuff that's around that. Me and my girlfriend have been watching all the Godzilla movies lately, and we're super excited to go watch Godzilla -1, and then Godzilla X Kong as well. Both of those seem really cool, and I'm really excited to go watch them. However, this one was a little weird. It sort of span it on its head, and I'm not sure if this is a prequel, or if it's connected to the cinematic universe, or what, or if it's its own separate thing. It wasn't really clear to me what this was supposed to be. So, let's get into what Google says this is. So, shipwrecked in the South Pacific, explorers encounter marriage of fearsome creatures, including a giant ape known as Kong. Well, that's what Google says. Let's see what I have to say. Let's do my recap on the story. Let's do what Tyler remembers from this series. So, we have two main kids and their parents. Not both of them, just their dads. Very lucky. They have their dads with them. Unfortunately, I don't have my dad with me. Some of us are luckier than others. So, these guys are going on a fishing trip with their dads to go explore, find this new island, find these new creatures, which his dad saw when he was younger, and his dad has been fascinated about ever since. They then find this young girl in the water, shipwrecked. Charlie jumps in and saves her. Of course he does. So Charlie then gets pulled up by Mark and his dad and Charlie's dad. They then interrogate the girl, like, hey, why are you here? They get attacked by a kraken. They end up on Skull Island. They get split up. There is another ship that was shipwrecked on that island, on Skull Island. So Charlie's dad finds them, teams up with them, and they go set up a camp. We then have the girl finding her pet dog, which is this giant fucking lion, dog, creature, bulldog, whatever, and which swam from her island to Skull Island, which is like 20 miles out, which is quite far for this creature to swim, especially in a kraken-infested water. We then have Charlie and Mark stuck on a beach by giant crabs, mud crabs, don't know what they're called in this universe, but there are so many cool and unique animals that we see. We then have them going through the jungle, going through some traps, encountering loads of different animals, getting in a lot of trouble, but then we end up seeing them. We see the other team, we see Charlie's dad, they capture the girl, the giant bird flies off with the dog, and Mark decides to tell Charlie to stay in the forest while he gives himself up because he's injured. He doesn't want to slow Charlie down, but he also wants to try and save his dad. We then later find out his dad wasn't in danger and he left Charlie for no apparent reason. Charlie then gets captured by a giant bird because of some island people. The bird then takes off, dumps him next to Dog, which is what the dog's called, where Kong lives. They then rescue themselves, go back to the camp, and everyone's a team. They then have a plan to take down the Kraken by dragging Kong from his mountain temple to the beach to fight them. We then have a backstory of Kong, where he had the past civilization of people living on the island, which he inevitably got killed by a Kraken because he didn't listen to them. And he decided to do his own thing. Ooh, I'm Kong, I'm Big Monkey, I do what I want. And because of that, there was a lot of trauma, a lot of trouble, and now he's sad and lonely. And he protects this necklace, which they stole. Charlie and the girl stole it on the back of Dog, took it all the way down to the beach. They got into a scrap. So, Kong is now fighting this giant Cthulhu Kraken-looking squid. Kong wins, flexes himself, smashes the water down, and sends a tidal wave, knocking Dog and Anne out. Anne wakes up in a hospital all the way back in New York. That's the end of it. We don't actually know if, Mark survived his injury. We don't know if Charlie ever got back. We don't know anything about those two. Those two were set out to be the main characters. I was extremely disappointed when there was no solid ending for those two. It is only an 8-episode series, all around like 20 minutes to half an hour each, easily watchable in a day. That's what I did. And I was very upset that there wasn't a solid conclusion, but it does leave it open for a season 2. And we never know what happened to Dog either. And I cared about Dog quite a lot, being an animal lover myself. So, the animation style, I already spoke about it before, looks pretty good. It is a pretty basic animation style, nothing too extravagant, nothing too special, nothing too over the top. It's just okay, it's reasonable, it's easy on the eyes, it's watchable, it's bright and colourful, and I liked the slowly degrading health that you could physically see on Mark. He's the one on the left with the red shirt. As the series goes on, you could see him slowly decline in health, and he had this, like, the regular trope of, hey, I'm injured, I'm not going to tell anyone because I don't want anyone to worry and I don't want to slow him down. I'm going to be the tough guy, I'm going to hide it for as long as I can. You know, the usual stuff. But you can slowly see him declining health, with purple bags appearing under his eyes, his skin getting a lot paler, and these black sort of veins, these tendrils, coming up his neck and sort of going through his bloodstream, which is really interesting and really cool to see the progression through the series of his health declining. I thought it was really cool to see. I had a lot of attention to detail on that part. I don't really like Kong's character design. Gonna be honest, it was very off-putting. He didn't look like Kong or the Kong that I knew from the movies. And this girl, and she had a lot of mystery about her, which again did get revealed during the series, but I don't want to spoil it for you guys, which I liked as well. It had a lot of mystery around the characters, and again, going back to the island, but on a more character level, is really interesting, because we've been to Skull Island before in a couple of movies with Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson and Nick Fury. That's not his character name. Why the fuck did I say Nick Fury? I'm so sorry. Samuel Jackson. But we didn't really see that many animals or creatures here, which you can get a better look at and a better scaling with animation. There's a lot more you can do with animation than you can with live action. So seeing all these new animals, these like turtles, these geode critters, these giant centipedes, was really cool and interesting, and gave a lot more to the universe than what we've seen in the movies prior. I loved that. I thought it was really cool. We also saw a lot of different places, like plants and plant life, which was really cool. Some of the other characters are pretty basic and boring. They didn't really have a lot of depth to them. I'm going to be honest, most of the characters were sort of like stereotypes and sort of one like layers. There wasn't much to them. The main characters were definitely Mark and Charlie and Anne, and they were the best three characters because they had so much to do. They had so much like character development and sort of, you know, they were depth characters. We went in depth with those characters. We knew about those characters, and they took time to develop them. Unlike other characters who were sort of like basic and predictable, and you sort of could tell their plot twists coming like a mile away. Like, as soon as I saw that they were looking for the girl and they were spending so much time on this girl, I knew she was the fucking mother. I knew she was her mum. It was fucking clear as day. It wasn't like a big shock, big plot twist. It was obvious as fuck. And I don't know if that's because I've watched too many shows and too many series that I sat to review them and I sat to like pick up on these little things. See, this is what like doing media does to you. Like, planning media, watching media, making your own story makes you pick up on other plot points much quicker, or it's just bad writing on their part. Either way, I can either basically give myself a pat on the back, or I could just blame the writers. Either one works for me. I don't really care. But this show is really good. It's a lot more like monster based and a lot more Skull Island based, which I like, and I would like them to go back to in the Godzilla universe, which we seem to be getting a lot more of in the Kong versus or Kong X Godzilla, whatever it's called, when they're sort of setting it in sort of center Earth, which I always love that fucking fact. I love the sort of idea of center Earth and all the thought that goes into it. It's just so cool and so mesmerizing and interesting, and I want to learn more all the time. But you know, this series is decent. It's good. I am going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but I'm happy that I have watched it. And, you know, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I feel like that's what it deserves. It's got its own plot holes. It's got its own plot twists. It's just, could be more creative with the characters. But I do like the monster designs and a lot of the monster interactions. However, it does get old a little bit because of how many monsters they're having to fight. It's like every episode they're fighting a new monster, and the story keeps switching up between all three of the groups, which again can take away from some of the fights and stuff like that. But it's a good show. It's on Netflix. I do recommend you go watch it. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. See you all next one. Have a nice day and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe. If you do want more from me as a content creator, you can check out the link in the description, which will give you a little bit more Tyler Price in your life if that's what you're looking for, if that's what you want. Because you can go check out my Instagram, my Twitch, my TikTok, my Twitter, whatever else I have to offer that's on there. I forget what's on there. Cameo as well. That's a new one that I'm doing. But yeah, other than that, see you all next one. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.